The arrival, a large spaceship, moved slowly through the sky. Its black surface reflected the light of a nearby sun. On the ground, alien creatures watched silently. They lived in peace. They had not seen a human before. They had only heard stories. The ship came from Earth. But Earth was not like other planets. Earth was called a Deathworld. It was known across the galaxy as one of the most dangerous places in space. Everything on Earth was wild. Everything wanted to kill or survive. Even the air and weather were deadly. That's why the people from Earth, humans, were feared. This ship carried only one person, a cadet. Young, still learning but already very dangerous. His name was not important to the locals. They only knew he was human, and that made them afraid. When the ship landed, the ground shook, trees bent, birds flew away. The forest became silent. Even the strong predators stopped moving. They watched from the shadows. These predators ruled this jungle. They hunted all other creatures. But something told them to wait. Something told them this visitor was different. The ship door opened. A ramp came down, and the human cadet stepped out. He looked calm. He wore no heavy armor, just simple clothes and a small bag. He had no big weapons, only a belt with tools. He looked around slowly, like he was not worried. He breathed the alien air and smiled. The aliens watching him were confused. How could a creature from a death world look so calm in a strange jungle? Did he not feel danger? The cadet walked forward. Each step was careful but confident. He looked at the plants, the ground, the trees. He touched a leaf. He smelled the wind. He was studying everything, but his face stayed calm, like nothing could surprise him. Deep in the forest, a predator. Pack watched him closely. There were 6 of them, sharp teeth, fast legs, strong bodies. They had killed many visitors before. They moved without sound. They were hunters. They believed no one could stop them. The leader of the pack growled low. It was a signal. They would test this new creature. They moved through the trees, closer and closer to the cadet. But the cadet stopped walking. He stood still. He turned his head, just a little, toward the forest. He said nothing. His face did not change. But the predators stopped. Their bodies froze. Something was wrong. The air felt heavy. Their instincts screamed at them. They were strong, yes. But the thing standing in front of them was something else. Not prey. Not even predator. Something worse. Something unknown. The cadet didn't move. But the pack turned around. They ran. They ran faster than they had ever run before. In the village nearby, the alien elders saw this from their screens. They were silent. They had never seen the predator pack run away. Not once in their history. What had they just witnessed? A young alien asked. "What is he?" An elder replied. "He is from a death world." The cadet kept walking, as if nothing happened. He reached a small hill and looked at the view. Forests, rivers, strange flying creatures. It was a new world. But to him, it was peaceful. He sat down and opened his small bag. He took out a food bar and started eating. The jungle, which was loud before, stayed quiet. The animals stayed hidden, and the cadet, he rested like it was just another day, but the message was clear. He was not the strongest human. He was just a cadet, a student. If he could make the predators run, what would happen if a real Death World warrior came? The aliens watching him began to whisper. Some were scared, some were curious. But one thing was sure. This human had changed everything. The cadet opened a small device on his wrist. A screen lit up. He spoke softly. "Cadet Alpha 73 reporting. Arrival complete, area secure, locals observing, predators avoided contact." A voice replied, "Copy, continue mission, learn, survive, show them what it means to be human." The screen went dark. The cadet stood up. He looked at the forest, and he smiled again. He was ready, but the planet was not. The jungle watches the Chaisom. Jungle was alive, but quiet. Birds didn't sing, trees didn't move, no wind, no sound, only the sound of boots, slow and steady, crushing soft leaves underfoot. The Deathworld cadet walked alone. But he was not alone. Above him, silent wings followed. Below him, something crawled just out of sight. Behind him, many eyes watched. Alien eyes, predator eyes, fearful eyes. The jungle was watching. The cadet paused by a strange purple tree. Its bark moved like breathing skin. Small bugs floated around it, glowing blue. He scanned it with his wrist device. He looked curious. Not afraid? In the trees, 3 aliens hid behind thick leaves. They were local scouts, not soldiers, just observers. He doesn't act like a killer, whispered one. Look again, said the older one. He doesn't have to. They had seen the predator pack run last night. That had never happened before. Now they had orders. Follow the human, learn his habits. Don't get caught, easy to say. But already their hands were shaking. Far ahead, the cadet crouched by a stream. The water glowed faint green, poisonous to most life, but he touched it with a small stick, then sniffed it. No burn. Low acid. Safe enough, he muttered. He filled a small bottle, added a tablet, and drank it. In the trees, one alien gasped. He just drank poison. He changed it, said another. He knows how to control the environment. The cadet stood up. Then, he looked directly at the tree they were hiding in. No smile, no words, just a slow glance. The scouts froze. Had he seen them? He turned and walked away. The jungle whispered again, not with sound but with warning. Predators that had hunted this area for years now stayed hidden. One of them, a 4-legged beast with spikes down its back, watched the cadet from a ridge. Its mouth dripped venom, its muscles twitched, ready to pounce. But it didn't move. The beast could smell it. The scent of a world where death was normal. The human didn't belong here. But this jungle didn't belong to him either. Not yet. Night came fast. The cadet set up a small shelter. No roof. Just netting and sensors. He lit a small blue flame for warmth. And then he spoke. I know you're watching, he said quietly, not turning his head. You've been behind me since the river. You're not very good at hiding. In the trees, the 3 alien scouts froze again. One nearly fell from the branch. Go home, he added. I'm not here to hurt you, unless you give me a reason. He laid down and closed his eyes. He didn't even look scared. In the deep jungle, a larger shape moved, heavy, slow, confident. Not a scout, not a common predator. This one had old scars, many kills. It had never failed a hunt. It sniffed the air, Deathworld scent. It grinned. Tomorrow night, it thought, I will test him myself. Back at the alien village, the council watched recordings from the scouts. He drinks poison, sleeps without a weapon, and still sees everything, said one elder. Another said, he's not fighting us, he's studying us. A young alien asked, should we stop him? No, the elder replied. We learn more by watching him than he does watching us. But none of them knew that the cadet was already sending messages back to Earth. Alien life watching closely, he typed. Hostile environment minimal. Requesting permission to move deeper. The reply came. Permission granted. Proceed. Engage if threatened. Level 2 clearance active. The cadet smiled. Level 2 meant one thing, weapons allowed. Hunters become the hunted. Last time they stalked him. This time, he's waiting. The night jungle was hungry again. After 2 silent nights, the predators returned. Their eyes glowed in the dark. Their claws scraped the earth. Their mouths dripped with hunger. They remembered the human. They remembered their fear, and they wanted to erase it. The alpha of the predator pack, twice the size of the others, stood at the front. He had waited, watched, planned. Not like last time, he growled. No mistakes. We hunt him together. Behind him, 5 others crouched low, their breath hot, their muscles ready. They were not simple beasts. They were smart, coordinated, quiet, and tonight, they wanted revenge. Elsewhere, the Deathworld cadet sat by a small fire, quiet, calm. He was cooking something in a small metal pot. The smell was strange, spicy, bitter, sharp. It drifted through the trees. The predators smelled it too. Poison? A trap? The Alpha signaled, "Circle him." They moved like shadows, surrounding the camp from all sides. But the cadet didn't move. He poured his food into a bowl, took a slow bite. Then, without turning his head, he said, "6 of you, same as last time." Silence. The Alpha stopped. The pack froze. "Last time you were smart. You ran." He took another bite. "This time you stayed, so now I run the hunt." Suddenly, click. The ground snapped. The predator closest to him screamed. A hidden trap grabbed its leg and pulled it up into the trees. Gone in a flash. The pack roared in confusion. Another step, crack. A pressure spike drove up from the dirt, piercing another beast through the chest. The rest scattered. The Alpha growled. "Ambush!" He turned to escape, but a bright light exploded behind him. Blind for a moment, he stumbled back and found himself face to face with the cadet, still calm, still quiet, holding something small. A device. "I learned your patterns," the cadet said. "Now I know where you walk." He pressed a button. The tree beside the Alpha shook and thick nets dropped down, wrapping the predator in unbreakable cords. It screamed. The cadet stepped closer. "You don't understand humans," he said. "You think we're weak because we're small. Because we don't have claws." He knelt down. "But on Earth, we don't survive by strength. We survive by thinking." The predator thrashed. It roared. It cursed, but the cadet didn't flinch. "You lost the moment you came back," he said. "Because I was waiting." In the trees, the alien scouts watched again. Their mouths were open. He trapped the predators, one by one, without using a single gun. One of them whispered, "He's not just dangerous. He's teaching the jungle to fear him." The Alien Council saw the report that night. "The predators are fleeing the forest. They will not return." An elder said, "One human made an entire ecosystem step back." Another replied, "He's not here to kill. He's here to study. But if pushed." A third finished, "He becomes death." Back in the jungle, the cadet sat by his fire again. He looked up at the stars. He opened his wrist device, typed, "Threat neutralized. Predators avoided. Jungle adapting. Requesting permission to enter mountain zone." The reply, "Approved. Be advised. Alien intelligence near northern range. Proceed with caution." The cadet smiled again. "Time to meet the thinkers," he said, and he disappeared into the dark trees, leaving traps, fear, and silence behind. Is the human a threat? The meeting room was cold. Thick stone walls, no windows, just shadows. 10 alien elders sat in silence, glowing eyes fixed on the center table. A hologram floated above it, flickering footage of one human, the Deathworld cadet. They watched him set traps. They watched the predators run. They watched him smile like it was easy. No one spoke. Then, a deep voice broke the silence. "This is not a soldier," said Elder Vora. "This is a student, a cadet." Another elder leaned forward. "Then what are the warriors like?" Silence, again. They had no answer. Far away in the jungle, the cadet climbed a ridge. His steps were slow, focused. His eyes scanned the trees. His hand rested near a tool, not a weapon. Behind him, something shimmered. A cloaked figure followed. Silent, invisible, an alien spy. It had orders. Watch the human. Measure his danger. If needed, remove him. The spy had watched humans from afar, but this was different. This one didn't act like a killer. He acted like a scientist, but the forest told a different story. Every predator was gone. That was not peace. That was power. Back at the council chamber, Elder Rin tapped the table. A new hologram appeared. It showed Earth, storms, volcanoes, giant creatures, war zones. "This is where he comes from," she said. "On our world he would be prey. On his world he is a survivor." Another elder said, "He has not attacked us." "But he doesn't have to," Rin replied. "He studies, he adapts, and if he feels danger, he responds with force. Always with force." The debate began. Let him finish his mission. Send him home before he learns too much. Watch him longer. Use him. In the forest, the cadet stopped walking. He looked directly at the spot where the spy stood, still cloaked. "I know you're there," he said. The spy froze. The cadet didn't raise a weapon. He didn't run. Instead, he sat down on a rock, pulled out a ration bar and took a bite. "Come out," he said. "Let's talk." A shimmer. A blink. The spy uncloaked. Tall, silent, armored in shadows, his face hidden behind a mask. He stepped forward slowly. "You knew I was watching?" The cadet nodded. "Since the river." "You didn't attack?" "You didn't either," the cadet said. "That's a good sign." Back in the council, the final decision had to be made. Elder Vora stood. "I will speak with him myself." Gasps filled the chamber. "He is young, alone, brave," Vora said. "But even a firefly can burn a forest if we don't understand its light." That night, under a clear sky, the cadet and the alien spy sat by a small fire. No weapons, no traps, just two enemies, sharing silence. Finally, the spy asked, "Why are humans so dangerous?" The cadet thought. Then he answered, "Because our planet taught us one rule, adapt or die." He looked at the flames, and humans don't like dying. What is a Deathworld cadet? Before the stars had names, before the council had rules, there was a planet that no one dared to visit. Earth. Storms with lightning that melted stone. Oceans that could swallow continents. Insects with venom that stopped a heart in seconds. Animals that hunted in packs, some with no eyes, some with no fear. And then, there were humans. Born in chaos. Raised by struggle. Taught by pain. Aliens. Called Earth a death world. But to humans it was just home. Now, deep inside a glowing mountain temple, Cadet Alpha 73 stood before Elder Vora, the oldest and wisest of the alien council. She looked at him with old eyes. "You walk calmly," she said. "But the jungle runs from your footsteps." The cadet said nothing. "You are only a student," she added. "And yet, the predators flee. The sky watches you, and our spies fear your silence." Still, the cadet said nothing. Vora leaned forward. "Tell me, human, what is a Deathworld cadet?" Flashback. Earth. Military training facility. A younger Alpha 73 runs through fire, dodges gunfire, fights wild beasts in an arena, no food, no water, just instinct. Over a loudspeaker, a voice speaks. "Deathworld cadets are not born, they are burned into shape. We don't teach them how to survive. We find the ones who already do, and we sharpen them." Back in the present, the cadet finally spoke. "I am not special," he said. "There are thousands like me." Vora's face changed. "Thousands?" He looked her in the eyes. "I was sent here to learn, not to fight. But if I'm forced to, I know how." She studied him. "Are you a weapon?" "No," he said quietly. "But I come from a planet that makes weapons, out of children." Outside the mountain temple, alarms echoed. A scout rushed in. "Elder, something approaches from orbit." She turned to the cadet. "Did you call for backup?" He shook his head. "Then who is it?" she asked. His face grew still. "I think it's not human." In the stars above, a strange black ship entered the atmosphere, no markings, no signal. But it was heading straight for the jungle, and deep in the cadet's memory he remembered a lesson. Sometimes the galaxy sends monsters to test your planet. Sometimes your planet sends you to test the galaxy. He stood up. "Prepare your people," he said. Vora frowned. "Why?" The cadet looked to the sky. "Because someone else is coming to hunt, and this time they're not here for me." A greater predator. Lands, it didn't roar. It didn't flash lights. It didn't speak. The black ship came down like a falling shadow, silent, smooth, unstoppable. Not a single bird made a sound. Not a single beast moved. Even the wind held its breath. From a cliffside, the Deathworld cadet watched through his scope. Shape, unknown. Markings, none. Signal, jammed. He zoomed in on the landing gear, scorched, jagged, melted metal. That ship didn't just fly through space. It survived something hot, something violent. Inside the Alien Council temple, the alarms were silent now. They were designed to detect ships, not predators. Elder Vora looked out the high window. "The air is wrong," she whispered. Behind her, the youngest scout trembled. "Is this a warship?" "No," said Vora. "This is not a war." She turned slowly. "This is a hunt." Back at the cadets' camp, gear was already packed. His eyes were cold, focused. He tapped his wrist device. No signal. He whispered to himself, "They're jamming me." He opened a hidden compartment in his pack. Inside, one plasma knife, one neurodart, one memory chip labeled Deathworld Protocol, Level 4. He paused. He had never used Level 4. He had only trained for it. The black ship opened. No ramp, no steps, just darkness. Then something stepped out. Not fast, not slow, just confident, 8 feet tall, armor fused with skin, no face, only sensors. No weapons in hand, but its body was a weapon. The cadet stayed low, watching. It turned its head, directly toward him. Impossible. He was camouflaged, hidden, motionless, but it had seen him, and it didn't charge, didn't roar, didn't aim. It, too, simply nodded and walked the other way. In the Alien Council room, panic had begun. "The human must leave," said one elder. "No," Vora said. "He's the only one who can understand this kind of visitor." "You trust him?" Vora looked at the paused recording of the cadet staring down a predator. "I trust this. He doesn't act like prey." Deep in the jungle, the cadet followed the new predator's path. He found broken trees, melted rocks, scorched footprints. This creature wasn't just a hunter, it was searching for something. Then he saw it. A dead jungle beast, giant, clawed, killed with a single strike. The human frowned. Too clean. No blood, no struggle. He scanned it. Poison? No. Heat? No. Frequency damage? Sonic weapon? Vibrations? He stood still. Very still. And then he heard it. Not a roar, but a low hum. The same hum from his memory chip. Deathworld Protocol, Level 4. He pressed a button. The chip glowed, then cracked. It had activated something. Far away. The ground shook. He didn't smile. He didn't speak. He simply said, "I think the galaxy just met something it can't explain." Deathworld Protocol, Level 4. Long ago, the Galactic Council made a list. Planets too wild, too violent, too unpredictable. They called them Death Worlds. Only 3 names were on that list. Earth was number 1. Now, on a silent jungle moon, Earth's cadet stood alone, watching the impossible walk through the trees, the predator in biomech armor, the ship with no signal. The kills too clean, too fast, too quiet. No emotion, no warning, and it was heading for the council city. The cadet opened his wrist device, typed, "New threat confirmed, greater predator, unknown origin, Level 4 authorization required. Activating Deathworld protocol. He paused, took a breath, and pressed the final command. Earth, if you can hear me, or wake up the fire. Far across space in a hidden Earth satellite, a light turned green. A voice answered, not human, but old, metallic. Cadet Alpha 73. Protocol accepted. Response drone en route. Estimated arrival? 5 minutes. Warning, this will cause planetary alarm. The cadet smiled. Good. The alien council was in chaos. Elder Vora stood at the edge of the balcony, staring at the rising smoke beyond the jungle. They are coming, she whispered. Another elder shouted, Who? The Predator? Vora shook her head.